Another Russian soldier riding a motorcycle became the target of a Ukrainian FPV drone. The operator locked onto the moving vehicle and launched the strike with precision, demonstrating the growing accuracy and responsiveness of frontline drone operations. A dramatic moment where drones hit what is believed to be a Russian ammunition warehouse. The footage captures the scale of destruction and the strategic impact of targeting supply hubs behind the front lines. The next target of the Ukrainian FPV drone is a Russian soldier speeding along on his motorcycle. Unaware that the drone is following him, the soldier is quickly attacked by the FPV drone. An unusual Russian vehicle came into the sights of a Ukrainian Omega Alliance FPV drone. Upon closer inspection, it was identified as a modified T-72. Russian soldiers had converted a disabled T-72 tank into an improvised armored infantry carrier, covering it entirely with additional armor. However, despite the extensive modifications, they neglected to secure the vehicle's rear hatch. When the Russian soldier noticed the incoming drone, he quickly started the engine and attempted to flee. The FPV drone pilot, however, managed to guide the drone directly into the vehicle, rendering it inoperative. A Russian unit advanced along a dirt road near Pokrovsk, confident, unaware. But beneath the surface, a Ukrainian explosive device waited. One step, one trigger, the lead vehicle jolted, smoke erupted, and the column froze. No firefight, no warning, just one device and the advance was over. The Ukrainian Zagra drone attack unit continued its relentless strikes on Russian soldiers in the KSK region. Focusing on a key logistics route, the unit systematically neutralized Russian military targets one by one. Although the use of ATVs and motorcycles allowed Russian forces to move quickly along the front lines, it also left them completely exposed and defenseless against drone attacks. In the contested Lyman direction, Russian forces deployed anti-drone nets, layered, reinforced, and confident in their defense. But defense means little when the attacker rewrites the rules. From the hands of Ukraine's Signum Battalion, a fiber-optic FPV drone launched, wired for control, immune to jamming, and guided with surgical precision. It flew low, fast, silent, then through a narrow gap in the netting. On the other side, a Russian supply vehicle parked and vulnerable. A soldier nearby unaware. The drone didn't hesitate. One thread of fiber, one breach in the net, one strike that rewrote the map. A Russian soldier hiding among the bushes began running as soon as he noticed an incoming drone. But there was nowhere to hide. Ukraine's 63rd Mechanized Infantry Battalion identified Russian infantrymen concealed in the Zaporizhia region one by one and targeted them with FPV drones. Russian soldiers were repeatedly observed operating alone along vast stretches of the front line. A Russian soldier driving his vehicle attempted to escape from a pursuing drone but struggled to gain speed on the muddy, rain-soaked road. The FPV drone quickly closed the distance. The Ukrainian Signum Battalion targeted Russian infantry in the Lyman region, where Russian forces had recently been moving more freely due to improved control in the area. However, they were unprepared for the Signum Battalion's unexpected drone assaults. In the same operation, a Russian military vehicle transporting ammunition to the front line was also targeted by these precision drone strikes. Ukrainian air assault forces launched a wave of precision strikes. No roaring jets, no artillery thunder. Just silence, speed, and fiber-optic FPV drones. Tanks were hit first. Steel giants turned into scorched wreckage. BMP-3s followed, their armor no match for guided impact. Engineering vehicles, vital for fortification and mobility, were disabled mid-task. Even bikes, used for fast recon and supply, were tracked and destroyed. Infantry units, scattered across trenches and tree lines, were picked off one by one. Each drone was manually guided through terrain, wires trailing back to the operator, immune to jamming, unstoppable in focus. No signals lost, no targets spared. Fiber optics don't just connect, they kill. After weeks of relative calm, the battlefield erupted again. October 13, 2025. On the Okaritine axis, Russia launched one of its largest armored assaults in recent months. 35 tanks and armored fighting vehicles surged forward in waves, backed by infantry and motorcycle scouts. The target, Ukrainian defensive lines held by the Azov First Corps. It began with dust and engine growls. Then came the steel. The assault unfolded in layers, motorbike units probing the flanks, followed by armored columns pushing through open terrain. But Ukraine was ready. Minefields had been laid. Artillery coordinates were preset. FPV drones circled above like silent hawks. As the first wave hit, explosions lit the horizon. Tanks struck mines. BMPs were immobilized. Ukrainian artillery and drone operators worked in perfect sync, turning the battlefield into a trap. The Azov First Corps held firm. They didn't just repel the assault, they dismantled it. By the end of the day, the Russian column was shattered. Burned-out hulls littered the fields. The assault had failed not for lack of firepower, but because it ran headfirst into a defense built on foresight, coordination, and unbreakable will. Okaritine didn't fall. It stood, and the steel storm broke against it.
Дрон, чувак! Дрон! Сюда летит нахуй! Да вот, блядь, что не видите?
October 11, 2025. In the village of Hryshine near Pokrovsk, a Ukrainian crew was evacuating 5 civilians under hostile conditions. The route was risky, the pressure mounting. Then disaster nearly struck. An unexpected threat emerged. No time for drones. No time for backup. But Yudin Gennady, armed with a 12-gauge shotgun and years of hunting instinct, acted fast. One shot. One decision. The threat was neutralized. The crew survived. The civilians were saved. In a wooded corridor near the front, a Russian assault group advances, confident, unaware. Ukrainian infantry have already set the stage. No rifles, no ambush fire, just silence and FPV drones. From hidden positions, the drones launch, wired, fast and precise. They weave through branches, skim the terrain, and lock onto targets. The Russians don't see them until it's too late. No time to raise weapons. No time to scatter. One by one, the drones strike clean, brutal, final. In the southern direction, a Russian infantry group took shelter beneath a bridge support. Hidden from view, shielded from ground fire, confident in their cover. But cover means little when the sky is watching. A Ukrainian MiG-29 fighter jet, armed with a French-made ASM/Hammer precision-guided bomb, locked onto the coordinates. The weapon, engineered for high-accuracy strikes, was released with exact intent. Seconds later, impact. The bridge trembled. The shelter was reduced to debris. The infantry group was completely neutralized. No warning, no escape, just one MiG, one hammer, and one flawless strike. Footage has emerged from the Zaporizhia direction, capturing the coordinated offensive of Ukraine's 33rd Separate Assault Regiment and the 24th Separate Assault Battalion Adar. The terrain is scarred, the skies overcast, but the mission is clear. Advance, liberate, hold. The operation unfolds in stages, first Mali Sherbaki, then Sherbaki, and finally partial control of Stepov. Each village is a fortress of rubble, each trench a memory of resistance. Ukrainian infantry move with precision, supported by drones and armored vehicles. The enemy is dug in, but not prepared for the speed and coordination of the assault. Close quarters combat erupts in alleyways and tree lanes. Russian positions are overrun. Some flee, others fall. A few are captured, adding to Ukraine's exchange fund, a grim but necessary ledger in this war. The footage shows more than just movement, it shows resolve. Adar's fighters, hardened by years of battle, move with quiet intensity. The 33rd Regiment, relentless and methodical, clears house after house, trench after trench. Witness the quiet tension of modern warfare. A Ukrainian reconnaissance drone scans the landscape, its camera capturing every movement with surgical precision. Below, a lone Russian soldier moves cautiously across the area. Moments later, another soldier arrives to support him. Both are now visible, caught on camera as they nervously circle a tree, attempting to hide from the silent observer above. For a brief moment, it resembles a game of cat and mouse. The soldiers shift positions, glancing upward, hoping to remain unseen. But in drone warfare, observation is rarely the endgame. Within moments, an FPV drone enters the scene. Guided by the same operators who tracked the soldiers' every move, it locks onto their position. With sharp maneuvers and unwavering focus, the drone closes in. Then a precise strike, swift and final. The pursuit ends instantly. This operation is yet another example of how Ukrainian UAV teams combine real-time surveillance with rapid, calculated attack. It's not just about speed. It's about timing, patience, and knowing exactly when the enemy feels safe enough to let their guard down. If you support our mission to document and share these frontline realities, we kindly ask you to subscribe to our channel and leave a like. Your support helps YouTube promote our content and motivates us to keep creating even more powerful stories with the same intensity and truth. Thank you.